Vincent, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, vamos. Okay, I wonder if those four people that were waiting are still going to be waiting, but on the wrong thing. Okay, we're live. We've got two viewers. Have you got connection? Uh,
Yeah.
okay, well, I guess we can start whenever the teams are decided. So it looks at the moment that, excuse me, Team 1 will be Borg, Camelius, Unknown Player, and for Prey versus Valorant, Kurstigatur, Bodica, and Phoenix Desk. How come Valorant doesn't have a rating?
Because well, sometimes there is a bug in lobby when they don't get it often, or it is possible to modify in mod so that it doesn't appear. It's also possible.
Ah, okay. So Camelius is asking that Valorant is not allowed to play as Ptolemies. Um, well, if people can be Britons, then I don't see why Ptolemies would be disallowed. So, as we're a commentary team, I suppose, what are your thoughts on the teams?
Yeah, well, I balanced them, so I
Oh,
tried to do my
okay.
best. I tried to do my best, but I'm not sure because like the top four players, they are well placed because like Borg is the best in the room, Valorant is the second best like normally, and then Chester, let's call him Chester, is
Okay, Chester.
probably yeah, let's call him Chester is probably the third best. So then we just do it like that with Camillus being the fourth best. But apart
Okay,
from that, the four other players, it's difficult to really place them.
okay.
Basically, because I saw some good things from unknown player and Bodica sometimes, but
Yeah.
sometimes they can also be not the best level.
Well, okay. Let's wait and see what are the various civilizations that each of them, from your experience, tend to use. I know Valorant is very good with Ptolemies. He really booms pretty quickly, and we've got three players playing as Britons as well. Camelius using Romans, and Borg has left.
Yeah, Bog, I think it's his connection. I think so. We are going to wait for him. I think.
Okay, that seems
Uh,
fair
I,
enough.
I'm checking the lobby. Yeah, he also disconnected from lobby, so maybe it's a problem from his connection. I think we should wait at
Yep.
least 2 minutes.
Okay, unknown player is asking people to watch on YouTube, so please do that. There's now
Okay, he's back. He's back.
okay. Borg is back, so I'm interested in Camelius playing as Romans. I don't know. I find them a bit kind of bland as a civilization. They're, I think they don't they don't have the same kind of booming ability that's really helpful in these kind of games with quite a low pop and um, with a lot of players where speed is really essential. Pretty much any of the civilizations that have the houses that give you 10 population and take that a little bit longer to make, I find are a bit of a disadvantage. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, this is true. So this is exactly why I'm reading the chat history to see if he really picked deceive. I mean, it's offensive, but it would be weird for Camillus to pick it. Basically, the Romans, yeah, they don't boom as well, but they still do some things quite good. So even if they are not the best tier, they are good tier because their spear cavalry can
Yeah,
uh, yeah,
no, I'd say
one second.
that's yeah, that's the one thing I'd say they do have in their advantage. Certainly the spear cavalry. If you can get a load of those, then they just take out women pretty much instantly. So yeah, you can cause a lot of damage to people's farming and quickly run away. And I also they've got a good array of siege weapons, but it's just a case of whether they can actually get to use them at any point.
Yeah, and also they have a little buff for siege weapons. So if I remember correctly, they have a 10% damage bonus.
Oh, do they? I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to look at a bit more of the quirks of the different civilizations have. Been looking at that recently, and there have been some really interesting things. Like I've forgotten exactly what it is, but Roman allies get a bonus when they're fighting in Roman territory or something along those lines. It's a really quite obscure bonus to have, but it's
So,
those little things like that that civilizations have can be really helpful. Assuming they're actually implemented, because there's a few things that I've seen. I thought, oh, that looks really good, and then it's not
well,
implemented.
actually, I think that this Roman bonus you described isn't implemented, but they have another nice bonus for their allies is that their train time for their citizen units is lower, so
Wow. Yeah, that
that's
is
good
very
for their
helpful.
boom. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Britons give some kind of bonus around healers, which could be. And in fact, we can have a look while we're waiting for that. I'll show people. So here, the Britons, 20% resource cost off for allied healers. Is there anything else that they have that's particularly interesting? Um, not so much. Is
No,
that?
they don't really have nice team bonus. Like they kind of play for themselves, I guess.
Yeah, they're starting with slingers can be such an advantage anyway. With the fact you can get those slingers, and I've seen rushes very very quickly that just kill off opposition almost before it's begun because you've got that extra range on skirmishers, and you can just produce so many so quickly because you don't need the wood. Um, so they're they can be very good in that sense. Just looking at what Gauls offer, because they're very similar. They give you 10% research time for your technologies for all your allies. So that's um, yeah, interesting, I suppose. Romans are going to give 20% off the training time for your allied infantry. That's very helpful. And Macedonians one. This I thought I saw something very interesting about this. So you get extra 20% on your selling prices at market, which would be actually really helpful in a team game. It could be very useful, particularly for fighting over resources. And this other one here, this military reforms, I don't know, do you know if that's implemented where every time you build a barracks or a subsequent barracks to your first barracks, you get free random military units with it? 5 military units per barracks.
Like which civilization?
Macedon.
Yeah, that's another bonus that isn't implemented, I guess.
Ah, that's a shame because
Yeah.
that would be, that would make them really interesting. The combination of that and the Siege Workshop, I think, it would make me not necessarily want to play as them myself, but would like someone to have that on my team. So I think it's often the way that someone has to suck it up. I don't particularly like playing as Iberians, but I do like having Iberians as teammates for the prices off of the skirmishers. Okay, we need so Camillus has gone for Morians. That's even more surprising to me than going as
Yeah,
the
because
Romans.
like I think they are going into some kind of a bit of troll talk because there's Borg that ask that players take random, then
Okay.
they kind of banter each other if they have balls or not, basically. So
Okay.
in the end, we have Callius that takes Morians and etc. It's
Yeah, it's a bold move. Okay. So although the elephant, like the worker elephant, can be really really useful there for if you can then get some cavalry, you can hunt around your opponent's base, steal their hunt, as well as constantly harass them and be able to be getting food and depositing things as well. And also you can move some infantry up to support, and they can, gather wood and all kinds of things. So they do have interesting possibilities with them.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and yeah, now the game is starting.
okay, the game's starting. So hopefully we can find out what is my Civ overlay I'm using. It's so much better than the default. I've got no idea.
Do you have the thing in the down right screen?
I have to what,
Uh,
sorry?
like, do you have the overlay in bottom right?
Oh, this. Yeah, the FGod mod.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very useful. Okay, so we got the Morians. I'm just focused at the moment um, on Valorant, who drew the Morians. How unlucky. So he's
Ah,
playing in the purple.
yeah.
Then at about 8 o'clock, then we have, let's just go round clockwise from there. Playing as the Romans, we have Boudica in the orange at about 10 o'clock. At
So
11.
it's actually against Valorant. So they are both enemies.
Oh, they're
If you
enemies. Is that where the
yeah,
fighting line
yeah,
is?
the enemies. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So that's interesting. So that area there, that's going to be where we've just got some goats. That is going to be one of the key battlefields. And equally then, presumably on the other side between Borg, who drew the Britons. Oh, this is a bit unfair. Um, and he's up
Yeah.
against Phoenix Desk, who's also got the Britons. I think that could be an interesting one just to see how quickly one produces compared to the other. So Borg has started pretty much put everyone to gathering wood and has got just 6 women gathering food and has gone for the berry upgrade, but is sending everyone else basically to collect wood. He's not,
Yeah.
and he's already started producing slingers, and we're only just over a minute in.
Very classic build order. Except that, yeah, he builds slingers quite early for safety, or maybe if he wants to rush later. Depends.
Yes, so he's got. Whoa, the goats are making quite a lot of noise there. So just slightly to the north of that, in the red we have Frazee for prey. He's already got. He started producing cavalry, so he may well be about looking to pull a rush together at some point. And he's now paused the game. So
Yeah.
I'm up now looking at Camelius as the Morians. He's got. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's produced only women at this stage of the game. He's just got his one cavalryman collecting the chickens. Oh no, I'd take that back. Sorry, he's done what we were mentioning earlier. He's taken his worker elephant out towards his borders and has got cavalry sort of killing the goats there.
Yeah. Yeah, Camillus, he will probably rush, yeah, he will rush Camillus. It's
Okay.
like he took the Morgans, but he knows what he wants to do with them anyway, because it's very easy to take the hunt and make cav, and yeah, you can be guaranteed that
Okay.
he will.
So he's I think he's asked the elephant to build a house, but hasn't actually set it to do it. Oh, it's just doing it now. So it is there. Okay, I'm just going to quickly look into the south, where we can see in the yellow we have unknown player, also playing as Britons. He's already. No, he hasn't. Sorry, I thought I was going to say he's produced his produced some slingers, but he's not produced any so far, and he's also not actually produced much in the way of cavalry. Just one additional
No, it's
cavalry.
yes, it's just starting now. He will take the hunt because he's making the farmstead.
Yeah, so he's got the farmstead, which is being built out. This is very good play, just to make sure that there's the minimum distance possible that you have to transport that meat. And the good thing about
And
goats is they don't run away.
yeah, and you can notice that he's making a double storage strategy
Yes,
in the wood.
so the storehouse, that's also, yeah, that's going to be very, very efficient. Although doing that quite so early, like, I mean,
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste of wood because yeah, he should invest it in something else, I think.
yeah, 'cause it's 100 wood. That's well, that's potentially toward that would get you 5 slingers. So it's quite early. But I mean, as a general rule, yes, I like the idea of having these multiple drop sites to keep the resources coming in more quickly. But it seems quite early to me. And he's
Yeah,
already producing a barracks as well. I don't. That's This is very very quick. If we have a look, red is going
yeah,
in towards Phoenix
to
Desk.
Phoenix Side.
So uh, and Phoenix Desk looks he's tried to fortify his northern border. Um, he could do with putting his cavalrymen inside the. Okay, he's just lost it. They would have been better off putting his cavalrymen there inside the civic centre. It would have been able to shoot just as far. Um,
Yeah.
okay, he's doing that now. He's so on his northern border with Borg. Bear in mind, let's have a look at their
You can
populations.
check. You can check the other side where Camillus is attacking with bodyguards. So there are two versus one
Oh
Valiant.
wow! Oh, that's very nice. So Valorant's trying to get everything away. That's a nice combination of the range cavalry and the spear cavalry. I'm not sure. Can the elephant actually garrison inside the civic centre? I don't know if it can. Okay, so action all over the place, but very very good play from Valorant. You see how quickly he brought out his female citizens there to carry on gathering resources, so they're still getting wood, and he's going to attempt to get his cavalry to, yeah, and he's done a good job again. He's just stopped them, or he's attracted those cavalry that were going to knock down his house, or they were going to
Yeah,
capture the house and knock it down, and then he's done well there.
this is making me regret my last balance exchange because like there was huge damage on Valiant, and that's very bad for this team because they can 2v1 efficiently Valiant. Then that's a problem because Borg is also expected to win his side, so that will be quite difficult, I think, for Team 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to prove difficult if they can do that, but it depends on how much it's affected each of their development. If we look at I mean, Valorant, wow, that has been absolutely crippling. He's down to only a population of 23, whereas although Bodica's only at 28 himself, and if he takes out these cavalry, which it looks like he's going to do now, so if he manages to take out the cavalry, then all the pretty much everything that Bodica has is just the female citizens and a couple of skirmishers. He's not got a lot going.
Yeah,
So
now I'm searching for Camille's cavalry because I don't know where he left.
there's some.
Maybe he lost them. I'm going to check the stats.
No, they're eating the goats. They're hunting goats at the moment up in the north. So,
Oh yeah,
but there's only
but
3 of
there's
them there. The others,
yeah.
he's producing more though. But he's got a nice mixture of soldiers. He's done well. He's taken advantage of these extra berries that he's got, and
Oh, it was in the Bodica Six Center, so now he's chasing the cavalry of Valiant, so
wow,
he
you're
can
right.
do a lot of damage. Yeah.
Okay, Valorant's in trouble now. Those could easily be that could be game over for those cavalry. He's doing well to move them around, and just one died, and I think that could be big trouble. If they garrison inside one of their allies' civic centres, do they still have their health restored?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. It would make sense for them to basically use Bodica's civic centre as effectively a place where they can just launch attacks against Valorant. I mean, Valorant's playing very aggressively because he's still searching out the map. If I'm just going to look at it from just his perspective, yeah, he's seen. There's a group of what looked like it might have been just women, but was actually got 14 archers amongst them. So he gave up on that. But I think as well, his he's in he's in difficulty certainly. He
Yeah.
does have a second group of cavalry that he's done very well with, which are hunting, but he's down to quite small, with just these 5 cavalry at the top.
But
Okay.
he's getting trapped by
Yeah,
Camillus basically. He's playing well.
yeah, Camillus is
But
doing very well. Although I think, did
yeah,
he?
the problem is that Camillus didn't stop his unit soon enough, so Valorant just had the time to basically do his formation and sneak
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
and he has just made it. He could, if he can as well. It looks very much like he's going to be drawing Camillus's cavalry into a trap of his own. He's got a large number of cavalry here just with the elephant. So if he's smart, and Camillus hasn't deposited all that food as well, so there's actually, he's got 158 food just carrying, oh no, sorry, 38 food. But now there's, oh, the elephant's gone, that's going to be a bit of a loss to Valorant.
Yeah.
But Fabre's been sending Boudica food. Oh, sorry.
I think he hesitated to attack because there was Boudica cavalry that was a bit around, so maybe he didn't want to engage the fight because of that, because otherwise he should have attacked Camillus cavalry.
Valorant.
Yeah, Valorant should have attacked Camillus cavalry.
Okay, I'm wondering why. I think he's put all of his women inside the civic centre, but he's not put any inside that house. So it's, oh no, he has got. Sorry, it's full. That's why he's not done anymore. He needs to kill these guys soon, or he's going to lose those women and that house. And he's timed that just perfectly. It's recovering loyalty, but he really needs support from his teammates. And if we look at their populations, he needs to request some help from Christigader or Chester and Unknown Player. Unknown Player has a good population. He needs to be helping him out here, and he's
reshaping food.
Yeah, has he been? Let's just see if there's anything. Yeah. Okay, so he's been sending some food, but he's also got a large number of cavalry that could have helped to defend. But that's see, he's done really. Valorant has done very, very well to maintain his cavalry population so high, and he's still harassing Boudica. So Boudica's only 7 population ahead of him, and most of those are in his civic centre.
This is true. I think that Boudica probably has misplayed a bit to not have a better position, better population at this point.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, it's you said it. It's true that another player had some cav, but I don't know. He often makes cav just for taking the food, but never attacking. So yeah, there's that.
I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see if anyone makes way. I'm just looking at the centre of the map now, and there's 10,000 metal and 5,000 stone, and I don't see large amounts of. I mean, there are a few extra things of metal here, there, and everywhere, but that is quite a treasure trove. If someone, and it is very close to. I've forgotten his name already. Unknown Player. Sorry, I'm looking back and watching Valorant circling around Boudica's civic centre and keeping on doing very well at harassing him. And it does look, it does look like the additional cavalry that Camillus stored there have been had their health restored, because they're all now back up at full health.
So I think that Borg is going for a very fast phase 3 strategy, because he's already on a lot of metal, and he built the sentry phase 1 tower. So he probably upgrade them and then go very fast to phase 3.
The thing is, that's one of my favourite things in the game, actually, the advantage. If you look as well on that border, you've got the Phoenix Desk has got that small tower as well, and he's got a couple of those. And in fact, he's got 3. Sorry, I do like that you can um, build those as kind of defensive structures, but then upgrade them so that once you do hit phase 2, you can pretty much go straight to phase 3. Um, just
Yeah.
looking at Camillus sent a group of cavalry out um, to Valorant's CC. I mean, I'm not quite sure why he's built these houses where he has. They seem a long way from anything. They're not within the range of the civic centre, but they're also not near any resources or anything. So it's not like he's using them to, as places where women could potentially garrison if they were in trouble. So I just think it's a strange choice. He's basically asking for those houses to be destroyed.
I think that those are the houses that were built by the elephant when he was hunting. So it was to save time, I think.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now. There you go. Okay, we've now got a double attack in the north around Boudica's base. If you look at about 9 o'clock-ish, you can see the unknown player has now sent some cavalry as well, and they're up against skirmishers, but they're doing...
Yeah, but I think that there are enough skirmishers to defend the attacks, so I think that this is a bit bad for them to take the fight, and they lost a bit of cavalry, so I'm not fan of that personally.
No, I think, it was not a battle that they could win, and as has been proven, they didn't win it. In fact, this is the first time that I've seen so many of these phase 1 towers be built. Okay, if you look now towards the centre of the map, we've got sword cavalry coming from Borg. He's moving down in towards Phoenix Desk's territory, and Phoenix Desk is building a lot of barracks.
And on top of that, Borg is 20 seconds away to get to P3, so he was very fast at it. Meanwhile, Phoenix Desk, he made the towers, but he didn't need 4 of them because he would build. He needs blacksmiths. He built the temple. Whereas Borg, he just built 2 of them because he knew that he would build the blacksmith, the market, etc. So.
Yeah, I have to say we've now got Borgs going in towards Valorant as well, but along with Camillus, so we've got the extra health that Borg's phase 3 cavalry are going to have against Valorant's phase 1 cavalry. I think actually this could be pretty much game over before it's even begun.
But I think that Borg will focus more on Phoenix Desk probably because he's closer, and if he wants to make damage, probably that he will do that.
Absolutely. I think this is I mean, again, we've got Phoenix now building another tower. I mean, they are more expensive to build them as the small towers and then upgrade them. They do cost additional resources, but I think in terms of the match so far, if we look at the populations, we can see that Team 1 and Team 2 are actually not too far apart. They're one population, and actually Team 2 is ahead.
Yeah, literally that even. But it's still true that Valorant is the problem is that Valorant will struggle a lot to start his economy. All the other players will have a good economy set up, so that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I think it was a clear strategy from the start that whoever was on that border with Valorant was going to rush him. It was unfortunate from Team 2 or Team 1, whichever team they are. Team 2, it's unfortunate from their perspective that that wasn't Borg. Just had it been Borg, we may have seen a bit more back and forth. But the fact that Borg was allowed to develop unhindered because we've got quite passive play from Phoenix Desk. Although he's moving to phase 3 now, and okay, how far is it until Borg gets rams? Okay, so he's 27 seconds away from 2 rams, which means that he'll have rams going in towards Phoenix Desk's CC before Phoenix Desk gets even a fortress. And
Yeah.
I don't see any sword cavalry. Do you see any sword cavalry at all? Are there any? So I don't know how he's going to defend himself against those rams.
I think that he will just try to have an army at least equal to Borg. But when he started the fortress now, it should be like he's even sending all his builders. So yeah, it will be ready soon enough. Oh, but F Pro is coming.
Whoa! Here comes the red player. Is bringing some slingers in. So Frey has been sending. He's been pretty much static up to now, but he's sent a large group, 37 slingers. Oh my word! And if you look at Borg as well, Borg is sending almost 90 slingers, 38 spearmen, also 41 women. Oh no, he's not. Sorry, I just selected those by mistake. But I think, okay, it's very, very close to the fortress going up, and it will make it up. But the players, I don't even see the armory or the blacksmith for Phoenix. Oh, here it is. He's got no upgrades so far. So does Borg or Frey have upgrades?
Yeah. Only Chester, I think, did the upgrades because he tend to do them, but he's a bit late to come to help, so I don't know.
Okay, let's have a look. We've got, yeah, he's sending 13 slingers and perhaps a few more, but yeah, unsurprisingly, the difficulty with stopping rams is when they're surrounded by so many skirmishers or slingers. You just cannot get your cavalry to them. They're killed. They're almost the only thing that can actually get them is other rams.
Yeah, but this is not needed to kill them right now. It will be only a threat when it will reach the fortress, so that's not so much of a problem, I think.
Okay, I think when he's got his fortress is garrisoned, then he's decided to produce the hero ahead of producing the rams. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I've seen, and I'd say that if you can defend with a few bolt shooters, then they can do it. But I don't think there's anyone on this side that has access to bolt shooters. I don't actually even know what
indeed. And by the way, in the other side, Bodica is making an attack on Violent.
Yeah, I saw that on the corner of my eye. So we've got a lot of skirmishers coming through. I think we may be witnessing the beginning of the end here. Valorant's still phase 1. He's got half the population of everyone else. It's been pretty brutal. I think it's pretty much game over. I can't see Unknown Player and Chester. Although Chester's thrown a lot of people in now.
Yeah, because that's the thing he's good at. But Unknown Player also needs to send some help on his side.
It's actually, but if you look at Borg's ram, it's popping back, but it's got no, it's not been damaged at all. But Red has lost all of his attacking army. But we've got, if you look in the south, okay, they're all dying now, but Unknown Player was also being kind of harassed by Grey, Camelius, and that's but he's fought that off successfully. Valorant is desperately trying to find another place where he can get some wood, so he's moving a large group of women that are going to be otherwise undefended out to more towards the centre of the board. That's going to cause him a lot of difficulties. If those are seen and captured, that seems to be pretty much all of his ability to go. He doesn't appear to have an army whatsoever.
And it's a bit of a shame that Chester and Phoenix Desk don't try to push more on their side because they repelled the army. They have a very strong force, but
Yeah,
Chester is trying to find another target. But I don't think, well, I don't think it's the best idea. I think they should focus on Borg. But
yeah, absolutely. They're looking towards for prey at the moment, although for prey's only just reached the city phase,
yeah, it's
um,
true. He doesn't have the fortress, but
and they could stop him putting one up. But oh, that's not a fortress. Sorry, that's the council chamber. But they're building. So Chester is building another civic centre, which is yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure
yeah,
about that location.
it feels a bit slow. If he does that, he has to gamble that Valorant and Unknown Player will hold on their side basically because he's making a bit of a long-term plan. It seems.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it reminds me of in chess when you see someone make a move and they effectively just lose a tempo. It's yeah, their chance to really push on was is pretty much gone. If you look, they were actually only up against 25, well, fewer than 25 soldiers. Um, and he's also been able to build that council chamber, which is now allowing him to build his heroes. And yeah, they continue. They're building barracks, which is yeah, as you've mentioned, it's more of a long-term approach. I also think the location of that civic centre hasn't helped Phoenix Desk at all because it's just cannibalised a lot of his space.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so where does Phoenix Desk go for resources now? He's been squeezed, but by his own player, his own teammate. So I would have preferred, from my perspective, to see that civic centre go far closer to either the centre of the board where there is that large. Sorry, I always say board because I still think of it like chess, but the centre of the map, which I'm showing now, where you've got those additional resources, which I think could be very, very useful, particularly as rams start getting destroyed, or towards the red player to try and compress his space and his ability to expand. But he's now, so Fabray's now building a fortress, and if you think about the amount of time that's passed since this expansion was first put in, he could easily, those 25 troops are now 50 troops and a hero. That fortress would never have gone up if they had just made that earlier attack.
Yeah.
So, okay, but on the left-hand side of the board, Unknown Player is now launching a counter-attack. He's trying to help Valorant. He's giving him some additional food and wood, and he's going to push against the orange player. Who's that? Boudica. Okay, so Unknown Player is offering food to his... Oh, but I think we have Borg. Yeah, Borg is coming again on the right-hand side as well. He's got 3 rams. Although Phoenix has started to produce rams, I find it fascinating that each of the players playing as Britons has effectively the same army. There's no
Yeah,
difference. I
it's
find
always the time. Well, there's a bit of difference because Phoenix Desk made more spearmen than Borg. It's that way he can tank more the damage of the slingers, but he has
yeah,
less slingers himself. So.
yeah. I was thinking particularly around they've all gone for the same hero, and the proportion of troops. I'm not sure why he sent his cavalry out to attack the rams there. That just seems to be asking for them to be killed.
Yeah, a unknown player is trying to fight 1 versus 2 in his side, and it seems like he's getting
Yeah,
caught up. That's I think that's pretty bad.
yeah, he absolutely is. I mean, I think I'm just watching that as well, and if you look, I'm just going to quickly check towards the centre. We can see that the
Yeah, see?
green player, I've forgotten who it is desperately trying to stop the red fortress going up. It's about
Yeah, and it sounds like
75% complete.
he succeeded in that, but you can see in his civic center he has 20 slingers that are doing nothing.
Oh my
So
word,
maybe
you're right.
yeah,
Yeah,
it could have been even better.
yeah, it absolutely could. I think that is certainly what um, should have been. Although he's going to get it. If he can damage that temple and take it over, that could be a really good point from which he can launch attacks. Having that, it looks as though he is trying to take over the temple. I think that would be a very sensible move, and it really gives you an excellent vantage point and base from which you can do it. Looks certainly red is looking in the most trouble, certainly on the north. Although Boudica, if we go back, can see though, yeah, the
So Borg has been raiding another player's food and he didn't notice. So he noticed just now, but I think there was a lot of
Yeah, see?
damage.
yeah, you're right. I've just seen that it's from 4 cavalry. That's so frustrating. I always like to build a um, a, a tower near my civic centre just for things like that, because at least it does something to dissuade people from that raiding. Otherwise, they can just do that. It's so difficult when you have the different alarms going off when you're fighting on multiple areas. It's easy to miss that one.
Yeah.
But I think Camelius now coming through with the elephants. They're
Yeah, I
really
think
well
that,
supported. So
yeah, I think that now Team 2 is starting to fall because it will be too difficult to defend that in that side. And Borg is also gaining some territory against
yeah,
Finis Death.
yeah, he is. You're right, and it's
Yeah,
it's the
see?
classic. There, I mean, actually, I made a video about siege weapons that I uploaded today, and it basically said exactly what Borg is doing here. That you have your rams. If you get the armor bonus as well, and you surround them with slingers or skirmishers, they're virtually impossible to stop because there's nothing that can beat them. He hasn't actually gone for the armor bonus himself, but he's
Yeah,
just going to
see?
knock down houses and just claim the loot. And I don't think that
Yeah, see?
this group of slingers that Phoenix Desk has is going to be sufficient. Although Green,
Yeah,
Green
see?
is pushing into Borg's territory.
Yeah, so Borg doesn't want to be trapped, so he goes back.
Yeah, let's have a look at that. I mean, it's a cliche, but it's also very, very true that attack can be the best form of defence. That he's basically sending that group of slingers, which
Yeah,
isn't the
see?
world's largest, it's fewer than 50 slingers, has probably saved Phoenix Desk. Well, maybe for a little while because he's going back now. But it's allowed
Yeah.
Phoenix Desk to attack the Rams with his sword cavalry. If he can just at least kill one of them. And I'd say as well, from Phoenix Desk's point of view, he's not producing any Rams, or actually, he's not producing a lot, full stop.
Yeah, see?
Has he got the... And Green doesn't have the murder holes either, so he's in danger of losing his tower, as it's not actually
Yeah, see?
able to defend itself, and he has lost the tower. Did Green... Green didn't take over the temple. That would have been very, very good had he done that. Okay, so Borg's backing off. We have, again, at Valorant's area, he's being absolutely ravaged. This is looking very, very 100 plus archers, and if you haven't got something like catapults, are absolutely superb against these archers, but he doesn't have anything that can offer that can stop them. You know.
Yeah, this is very bad.
Yeah, is he? he's still only phase 2, but then Boudica's only phase 2 as well. Considering he's been kind of hamstrung by playing first as Morians. I mean, that's particularly unlucky that he drew Morians while Borg drew Britons. It couldn't really have fallen any worse. And also the way the two players have harassed him constantly has been very, very good. If you look now back towards Borg's area, he's pushing with prey against the green player. I've forgotten his name again. Chester. Chester's producing spearmen, just spearman after spearman after spearman. So rather than any range troops, I'm not sure how successful they'll be at defending against rams or anything.
Yeah, he's doing that because the spearmen are also the first unit to die, so it's a bit of mid shield because they have a higher defense and HP. Since they are the first to die, while he needs to replace them constantly, so that's the reason.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I don't think anyone's got any champion units out yet.
No, they probably won't make them.
I do like the Briton swordmen. They're very good. What do we have? So again we have Borg's border with Phoenix Desk. It's a scene of a battle, but I think I just saw what looked like it was a catapult. Oh, unknown player is attacking again in the north. He's gone into Boudica's desk and he's got a lot of rams. If he can take out the elephant, then unfortunately the rams are focused on this house. I think there are more important buildings they could destroy. But if they can get a clear pathway through to the civic centre, that could be particularly damaging to Boudica.
Yeah, at least Federant Civic Centre didn't go down yet, so they still have a hope.
Yeah, there's only, I think, one elephant. There is just... Oh, there's two, though. There's one elephant and there's the hero elephant, but... Oh, no, it's not a hero elephant. It's a hero... like, chariot. So... The elephant's at 100% health and it's now heading towards his CC. I don't think Valorant has any archers or anything.
No, but he can unload unknown player garrison unit in his civic center.
Yeah, he really needs unknown player to help out there. Unknown player's pushing really hard against Boudica. If he can take out that civic center.
Yeah, it could be very, very good actually.
Yeah, it's
because Borg is taking a lot of time in his side. He has much more population, but there's still a fortress. There's still a lot of defense to go down before the civic center is destroyed. So if Boudica civic center is destroyed, that could be huge.
Yeah, it could make a big difference. Okay, it is losing. It's losing health, and it looks very much like he's only got. Is it 2? He's got only a handful of swordsmen, so he's actually not got that many people who can actually really hurt the rams as well. I wonder if Camillus will be able to support this. I think it's going to go. I really do. It's down to 400, 267, 130. It's gone. That changes things.
Yeah. We can try to do some hype for the comeback.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, for everyone that had given up on the game, well, it's there. Okay, I'm just looking at some of the comments. Yeah, Borg is lagging, and there is lag in the game. Right, so is he? He's knocking down the barracks as well. If they can, where's the loyalty coming from those buildings?
It's coming from Camille's Sig Center because it's also held by Ollie's Sig Center. So
Alright.
that's why he keep them alive. But at least his economy is not existent basically. So that's the important thing.
If he can get those rams to take out the barracks, then he's got no ability to produce that. I mean, anything. This is where you see the limitations of the archers. He's got 103 archers, but they're just shooting at rams. And, you know, at the same time, we've had about 10 or 12 skirmishers have killed an elephant. So, yeah, ironically, at this point, actually, the women are some of the best people at taking down rams that he's got. They've lost another tower.
So now, in the other side, Borg finally reached the fortress with his rams. He has 6 rams, so maybe he will be able to do something. Maybe Chester, yeah, maybe he will need Indian to help. Oh, but he's Fonizesk is unloading the rams to do some damage, so that can.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, did he manage to get any? Borg's also taken over the temple, which is pretty helpful for his supporting troops, but they happen to just have you know, they're themselves being healed. Their unknown player as well is pushing again to help defend Valorant, so Valorant is possibly going to make it to phase 3 at some point. But yeah, this Ghetto Fortress is gone, and I think the Civic Centre will go shortly after.
Yeah.
So when you see things like this, a ram on 32 health, it's so frustrating to know that there's absolutely nothing you can do to stop them.
Yeah.
I normally try and fill my fortresses with sword cavalry to hopefully allow them to have some supporting fire if they are then to attack rams, but that hasn't happened here. Now there are no sword cavalry. This civic centre's gone, and yeah, I said it before, and I think he really wasn't helped there. Phoenix Desk was really squeezed by the green player.
Yeah, it's true. Chester didn't really help them in his side, so
No,
I think that they should send him the resources as soon as possible so that he rebuilds, because it's important for the economy.
yeah, I mean, he has to, or to do that if he can't rebuild that civic centre. But Chester's pushing into Borg again, but he's been distracted by, I think he'd got quite a lot of troops actually in towards Borg's, towards the civic centre, but red player, I've forgotten his name, who is it for Prey? Yeah, he did well to, he basically he seems to have sacrificed those soldiers. I don't think they're going to do a lot. Okay, oh, Camillus has been dancing apparently, but now he's saying he hasn't. Okay, this is, it's passive stance. What's the difference between passive stance and dance?
Because the passive stance, like, he can put the hero in forward, then he gets attacked, so the hero goes back, and all the units are following, trying to attack, while they get destroyed by the enemy. So
okay, that's very.
So yeah, that's a bit annoying.
Okay, seems like a technicality, but it's good. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that if it was a regicide game. But let's have a look. Green is now pushing into Red's territory again. Let's see. Is it going to? Yeah, I don't think he'll be able to actually take it out. But if he was to send some rams in there, if he was able to, he could really push in quite heavily. Prey's built all these fences, but I don't really know what the purpose of them is, particularly the ones which you can just walk round that he's got there. I mean, I've I've seen people use them in the past when you've got catapults. If you have like a rolling catapult attack, if you constantly build these wooden fences around them, it does mean that it's very difficult for someone to stop those catapults. But he's not building catapults. But here comes Borg again.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, he has to go back.
So, I mean, green is really pushing. So, the problem now is that if he can't build his civic centre where it was, because now some of that has been, he's lost some of his territory to green.
Yeah, he's building it at the back, like really at the back.
Okay, where I can't even see it. Oh wow. Well, hopefully it'll take some of green space. At least there's plenty of wood there. But this central area, there's a lot going on there, but no one has claimed the metal yet. Let's have a look. No. Yeah, all of the fighting. Wow. We've got, red and blue are making a pretty large push onto green. I think they've done.
Yeah, Chaucer is a bit outnumbered by them.
He's completely unknown, but unknown player is coming to support. But that, ironically, from Phoenix Test's perspective, probably this civic centre going down is the best thing that could happen for him, for his own personal game. Whether that is a good thing for their team, I would doubt, but it would at least give him some space.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of economy anyway, so yeah, it doesn't change a lot, I think.
No, the Borg's Rams are just continuing to push on. It's going to go quickly. Has Bodik's managed to rebuild his civic centre, and his economy still now seems relatively good again. So that was just a temporary blip. Valorant and Bodik, neither of them have made phase 2 yet, but the battle certainly moved location, and I think Valorant will just be happy to have the chance to build his economy and hopefully build up an army where he can then push on again into Boudica. I think if he's given the opportunity, he will be able to take Boudica out.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Meanwhile, Phoenix Desk is attacking in Borg empty base basically, but he doesn't have any rams, so he can only do so much basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
This thing really needs the siege weapons. If he could, he's just got a lot of people waving at the temple. He could actually take that temple down if he just attacked it with some of the slingers first.
Yeah, but that would be slow anyway, so he doesn't have a lot to do, so yeah, he may as well reinforce in the fight.
Great, so we've now got, it's now 3-on-2 in the centre. We've got everyone basically moving into that area just to the north of the green territory. And we've got some additional support from unknown player coming through. That's 20 or so spearmen. And even Borg is... So I'm surprised to see Borg actually throwing people into that fight.
Yeah, it was a good fight for a long time, but it dragged a bit and he's getting trapped now. Also, I think that Camius was a bit late to reinforce. He has 220 population for a long time now, so I think he needed to send a bit of more soldiers, I think.
Okay, just look, Borg is pushing now. Yeah, he is pushing in the north, but with only archers. He really needs some elephants, or he needs, if unknown player were just to be able to donate him 2 or 3 rams, that would make a big difference, and Valorant would be able to destroy Boudica, I think. He just needs something to enable him to get through these towers.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a large number of...
EST.
And you've got archers, spearmen, and a hero coming down from the south, from Camelius. They're all doing some excellent distribution of resources. They're making sure that each of their teammates can perform well. Here we go. Now we've got some rams going towards Borg's thing. It looks like that first tower's going to go. And actually Borg may be in trouble. He's pulling some people out, but he doesn't actually have anything that would clearly be able to take out those rams. He's just got the spearmen, and their pierce damage isn't ideal in this very limited hacker zone.
EST.
It's getting dangerous.
Yeah, this... If they can actually take this out, this would be a good opportunity. If someone... Once that's gone, if someone could build a civic centre, wow, Borg's territory has just vanished. If someone was able to even slyly build a civic centre just a little bit closer to it, then he could even start to take control of a few of these buildings.
Yeah, but they can't afford to do it because they have to fight every time. They can't afford to stop and idle some minutes.
I was thinking for the light blue player, Phoenix Desk, if he was able to, he's not really, because of his economy, he's not in a position where he can really support militarily. He could potentially, if those rams now, the rams have taken out the tower, they're moving away from the fortress though. Frustrating.
But Borg has some rams training, so that can be very, very dangerous for a non-player.
Yeah, he does. They're going to be ready in 15 seconds, so, and he's done well. He's got all the women out just chasing off the ram. This is where the ram's pathfinder can be so frustrating. You just think, bulldoze the women out of the way. Okay, there's 8 seconds for the ram. The fortress is 2/3 destroyed.
Yeah.
Getting closer, there's 4. Okay, is it going to make it?
I think not.
Oh my word, that was... That must have been a fraction of a second. Okay, that is game changing.
Yeah. And meanwhile, the sixth center just had the time to go up, so
Wow.
yeah, it's getting very difficult. I think they did a very good comeback. Although it's still even on population, but the fact that Borg has been basically got his base wiped out is very big.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just what I was mentioning earlier. If one of the players, as has happened, that civic centre going up at the point that the fortress went down. If they can stop this civic centre, do they have the population to stop that civic centre going up? Because Borg can't get his civic centre back.
So if you didn't like Funny's desk territory, now you will start to hate it, because now even in his farms it's getting...
Yeah, people have stolen his farms. And even Borg, who's got no civic centre, has got his temple. So if you look in the south as well, we've just got now Camelius is going to raid unknown players' home. He's going to take his market. And this is where, as I mentioned earlier, not having just one tower would be sufficient to cause these just some disruption to these cavalry, because they're going to take the market.
But they took down the sixth center with the slingers, so that's something to note.
Yeah, I've just seen that. Okay, so now it's... Okay, so unknown player is sent... We've got 4 skirmishers firing at the people putting the civic centre up. And it looks like Borg's going to have sufficient population to any effect. They're going to be pushing on.
Yeah, see?
If only Phoenix Desk had managed to push further north a little bit. So right in the centre now there's a big battle where I think,
Yeah,
well,
see?
looking at the makeup of the army's Camellias is set to lose a lot of archers. They've got no melee troop support whatsoever. But
Yeah,
they're
that's
successfully
true.
running away. And wow, Borg's finally got his fortress there, so we're going to potentially see get a hero and potentially some of the troops. I like the Morian mace people; they can destroy buildings. And although we haven't been watching it, that tower that was causing problems for Valorant has now been destroyed. It's being rebuilt currently. There's a big battle going on. Oh, Red is pushing into. Oh, it's just going on everywhere. So Prey is now pushing into the territory of Phoenix Desk from two sides. I don't know that Phoenix Desk. What's his population?
So now basically everyone on the first team is doing something. Like Camillus is also moving, FPRI is moving.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Team 2, they need an Empire to do something because Fanny's Desk doesn't have a lot to defend.
No, there's just a 9 sword cavalry that Camillus is just sending around, and he's destroyed everyone's food economy. I mean, at this point in the game, everyone has a lot of food anyway, so it's actually not a huge problem immediately, but it will be if they don't realise that's happened, and then before they know it, they're trying to produce some soldiers and they can't produce any. One of the barracks of Phoenix Desk has now been captured by Prey, and he's pushing on. He's trying to capture the other barracks as well, and I think he probably will get at least one of them. In fact, he looks like he might get 3 to 4 of them, unless the green soldiers can do that. This is where having those the spearmen is causing an issue, because they're slower than the skirmishers or the slingers, and he's not actually able to make them as mobile as they need to be to get between the different battles. This looks bad now. Phoenix Desk has not Phoenix. He's lost 3 barracks, and Borg is pushing from the north. Borg's built another fortress, and it's actually right on Phoenix Desk's doorstep. That's going to be the end for Phoenix Desk very soon. Although I said that before, and then he somehow managed to survive, but he certainly looks to be in the weakest position at the moment. Valorant may well be about to take out Boudica. He's got plenty of barracks. He doesn't have the elephant.
He doesn't have the elephants, so it will be difficult still to make a lot of damage. And the Silk Center now is built further in the back, so it will be difficult to attack.
Absolutely. But this is like we mentioned previously, that these couple of rams though that Unknown Player is sending could prove absolutely crucial, because he'll find it very difficult to get anyone out to stop the rams with this many archers there, unless it's other rams. But he hasn't got a fortress, does he? So Boudica has, at this stage, he's got the best potential for siege weapons and combination of siege weapons to really cause problems, but he's not able to do so. I think it can't be long before Phoenix Desk gives up. He's managed to reclaim. Oh no, he hasn't. He's managed to destroy 2 of the barracks, so the other 2 have just been killed off. Borg again, bad connection. The FPS has dropped to 2. So apologies for people watching it.
The problem for Team 2 is that Chester had to fight 1 versus 3 for a long time. So in the end, he lost a lot of his army. So
Yeah, and he hasn't. We've got
Yes, see?
one elephant that's taking barracks upon barracks upon barracks. So
Valorant has done some writing in Camille's base.
okay.
Yes, see?
Oh wow.
Yes, see?
Oh, actually, it looked worse on the mini map than it was. So we've now got Fabrez pushing deeper into the territory. He's actually getting closer and closer to Camelius. Not Camelius, sorry, to the green player Chester. Yeah, if Chester or Chester, whoever is watching, how do you pronounce that name? Obviously, you're not watching now, but if you're watching in the future, the playback, then yeah, it would be useful because I watched when Alistair and FeldFeld were commentating, and it was just as difficult then. No one was any closer to understanding.
Yes, see?
So the population are back to being given. So yeah, I don't know how that goes.
It's quite incredible, really. I have to say, yeah, bravo to you for the balance. It's looked. There's been a couple of times when it's swung one way and it looks all over, and then it swings the other way and it looks like it could be changing. And now we've got the other three. I mean, Valorant now is in the point where he is sending resources to everyone. He's got such a strong position, but where's his elephant stables? He badly needs some elephants or something. But
fortunately, unknown player still has some rams there, so
he doesn't. I don't know what Bodica can do here.
And Valorant now is running into F-Pro base, so he's really switching target to get all the food.
So can you say that again? I missed that.
Valorant is now also raiding F-Pro base.
Ah, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I was calling him for prey. So it's difficult. But that again, these little raids and things can be so critical because with so much fighting going on, it's very easy to not realise this is happening. I mean, if unknown player was able to do it, there's not really the space within the map for him to find a route. But if unknown player were able to get some rams to FPRE for prey, whatever, to his base, it's just not defended whatsoever. There's 8 soldiers there. Everyone is out fighting. It would be very difficult, and it would force people to. It would be a way to relieve the pressure on Phoenix Desk, but Phoenix Desk is in all manner of trouble. That one elephant is still going. Somehow it's not been killed. It's only lost about 67 health in that whole time. Ordinarily they die incredibly quickly, but it's done well. This pincer attack, the 3 players attacking, has made a real impact. It needs now Valorant to get that breakthrough against Bodica very, very shortly. Can he do it though?
Yeah. That takes time because they have to be coordinated with unknown player. Unknown player has to care about 2 sides, one with his RAM and one where he's actually fighting with the soldiers. So it's very difficult to get coordinated in these situations.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And just what's been done particularly well by Bodica as well is look at the way those houses have been set as the fields, the houses, the tower. There are so many things between, so many buildings between the civic centre and the Rams, and this is why if Valorant just had some elephants, he could control himself. But even now he's his archers are shooting at a tower when he could really do with those shooting at the swordsman and the spearmen that have just killed a ram. So, I mean, I don't know how easy it is to put something into the game, but it's really frustrating to me when you're playing and soldiers end up attacking the one thing that they can't attack. Like in that instance, like why are archers shooting at a tower?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. He takes a lot of time. The rams should have been already on the civic center
Yeah.
because it's just a bit. It's just some houses. So.
I saw a game with Valorant, which I thought was really, really clever. He did an excellent trick where I think he was playing as Tom0ad or someone, so he started the foundations of houses, like lots of houses around his civic centre and built them only a tiny bit, but it meant that every time the rams were sent towards to attack the civic centre, but by constantly building these small barriers in the way that were free, it meant that the rams, rather than just knocking down the foundations of this house, they tried to find another route round, and it was kind of hilarious to watch because it was really taking advantage of the way the Pathfinder works.
Yeah.
Okay, up in the north we're going to see the rams are going round now. Okay, so they've taken out the market. Is Bodica going to survive? Bodica still has a pretty decent population. He's got a bigger population than Borg at the moment. I don't quite understand how or where they all are, because he's not engaged in any of the fighting.
Yeah, wait. He actually garrisoned a lot, like you can double click the towers and the barracks.
Okay.
So the civic center.
So it's getting close now. The Borg's rams are getting very close to
Yeah, see?
Phoenix Desk's civic centre. I don't know how long. So if he still doesn't have... Oh, he's building some sword cavalry at last, but it's a case of will those barracks survive long enough to actually build the sword cavalry and attack the rams, because those rams are just, pretty much unopposed.
By the way, the population are still very even.
Yeah.
For quite a long time, I have been checking them. It was really, literally the same number, so something to note.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on, but Camillus is having to drop back because he's just lost his fortress, and it looks like he'll lose his elephant stables shortly to a couple of unknown players' rounds. It looks like unknown player eventually just gave up trying to get to the Bodica Civic Centre. But if they really, I forget which team is which. I don't even know how I find out. Team 2 could do with taking out one of the players, because Phoenix Desk is virtually gone and will be gone shortly, and it's a case of whether they can get to a point where they manage to take out one of the other players to keep it relatively even. Because, this is a pretty desperate plight now. Are the rams getting any closer? Okay. So it could be that the civic centre that's going to go down is these swordsmen.
Yeah, see?
Is going to be of Camillus, but there are lots of. Oh, Valorant has got a lot of archers against Camillus's archers, but he could do with protecting if it's possible.
Yeah, Valorant has much less units, and Camillus also has his hero to do his passive thing, so...
Yeah, we've got a lot of swordsmen, like Roman swordsmen, coming round to the north of Camillus as well, which is which is helpful. They'll be very useful against the rams, which is where the same hasn't been made available by this Yeah, for Phoenix Desk, he's not had really access to anything other than those sword cavalry that can stop rams, and it really shows because those cavalry just get massacred. We've got a ram here that's on a health of, oh no, it's gone. It's just been killed. But our ball's got 2 more rams. One's nearly dead. One is looking quite healthy. But I don't know if they'll be able to stop that. Needs to get the women out there to try to stop these rams as well. If these rams, will they knock down the civic centre before it's too late? It looks like they're going to poke the ram to death. Fortunately for them, just before that.
Yeah.
So up in the north, all those Roman, all the Roman swordsmen are now able to do that. I wonder where he got all that metal from.
Well, maybe he could get it from his teammate, or it doesn't cost a lot of metal anyway, so that's not a big problem.
No, there's quite a lot of swordsmen there. There's 27 of them, but there's no way. There's unfortunately unknown player and Green Chester are not able to support Valorant's attack, so he's been pushed back. But what he has done is drawn Camelius back to his home and also to support Boudica. So that's allowing them to defend Phoenix Desk. But Phoenix Desk population is still 66, so he's not going to be offering anything in any great detail. Anything with any real use, I suppose, utility in the short term. It feels like death by 1,000 cuts. Now,
the problem is now I think that the team 1 with Borg is back to the winning seat because they are 4 versus 3 now, basically.
Yeah, they are. It's a shame for Valorant because he really was pushing very, very hard against Boga.
I think they were too slow because I think that the Rams could have done something there. They just lacked a bit of coordination.
Yeah, which is, as you've already pointed out, it's very difficult when you're fighting on 2 fronts, and the Rams Pathfinder doesn't help. But then I wonder why Valorant didn't produce any an elephant stables or something that would have allowed him to also contribute to that. And the good thing about having a combination of rams and elephants is that they're each susceptible to different attackers, which, given the luck that you sometimes do, it may have been that the skirmishers would attack the rams while the swordsmen would attack the elephants, and if that was the case, they would be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like, wow, Phoenix Desk is going to get himself a fortress.
Basically built by his allies.
Yeah, and they're doing that for him, and they're doing a good job. Okay, I need a drink, so I'm just going to open one, but my bottle opener is a Borussia Dortmund bottle opener that's going to sing a football chant, so I warn you if that's what you're hearing. Oh, yeah. Olé auf den BVB. Okay. So it's not going to shut up for ages now. Auf den BVB. Okay, we got people in the chat speaking Portuguese, which is always nice to see.
Interesting, yeah.
Okay. So, sorry about that, everyone. I was kind of away for a second. Ah, whoa. They're now pushing into unknown players base, albeit not
Yeah, see?
in huge numbers, but unknown players actually, he's at risk here.
Yeah, he has his armies. His army is has to defend Phoenix Desk. So, but
Yeah.
Valorant is there, but he doesn't have enough.
No, he really doesn't. Valorant's down to 143. Chester's at full population, so Chester really needs to be the one
Yeah, see?
to step in now in terms of defending Phoenix Desk. It's I think this could be. Well, I mean, I've said it a few times, but I think this could be the end, because looking at things now, we've got a temple going up from Prey, and we've got the Rams are knocking various things down. If Boudica looks safe again, Boudica's even built a fortress, and if that means that he gets catapults or rams of his own going, particularly if he gets rams, actually, I'm not sure where Valorant's going to be able to defend against that.
Yeah. Actually, it's still taking time to really have a decisive result.
And I just looked at the time and was like, wow, it's 8:30. How did this happen?
Yeah, it's very rare to have games like that, back and forth, etc. It's really, really rare.
Yeah. Okay. So Chester's looking for those. The mines in the middle that looked so tantalising earlier on, they're finally being claimed by for Prey. So that's where they can also have the advantage of access to a large amount of silver, the metal and the stone. We've got on top of things. It has to end shortly.
By the way, FPRE has done very well this game. He always has been fighting. I think he did quite good for his level or what he does generally. Now he has over 700 kills, which is quite good for him.
Yeah, he really does. Wow, he's got the most. He's killed double Phoenix Desk, and actually 50% more than Valorant. So yeah, he has been pretty omnipresent. There was a point earlier on when it looked like Chester was going to really push into his territory, but it didn't quite happen. And he's really come back well. He's offered constant support.
And the reason he took Athenians is because of the bonus of his hero, which gives 3 more armor to units in his formation.
Yeah, that hero is totally OP. I think he's far and away the best hero in the game. From my perspective, just if you get a group of 50 to 100 slingers and have him giving them +3 armor, that's killer. The only sort of equivalent thing is it Brasidas? I forget, or Leonidas? I forget which one, but I really like from Iberians. If you have your Skiratai commandos, but you have them supported by the skirmishers, and then you get the correct hero that gives the skirmisher bonus. That with rams can be pretty deadly.
Yeah, also the heroes are very good.
Yeah, see?
So what? If you look down, Camelius is pushing right into unknown player's territory now. Unknown player is he's fairly not well supported at home. And Boudica is able to also help him out, which is quite the turnaround from where Boudica was, that he's now actually offering support to an attack, and he's He's so confident he hasn't even bothered to deposit over 200 wood. Okay, a lot of people just died, I heard in my ear there. I'm not sure what it sounded like, a ritual suicide of women
Yeah,
that someone was using.
Yeah, maybe someone deleted his woman to make space for population.
Yeah, I think
it's
that's
possible.
exactly. I think that's what happened. I always feel mean when I do that. I don't know why. I know they're not real, but it still makes me feel uneasy. The idea that their lives, they've worked so hard collecting all these resources, all the food and wood, and then you just say your life is now worthless. I need a soldier.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. You did a good job, but it's someone Francisco Leites just said it's feminicide. Yes, that is true. Okay, Phoenix Desk is just finally good gamed.
Oh, good game, but what was the population again? Because
He's on 64.
oh, okay, okay. It's Phoenix Desk who caused it, but he's not resigning yet. So
No, he's still got people trying to rebuild. Is that? I don't even know who's
DSD?
which. Okay, so he's trying to maintain his fortress, but there's still no one attacking the rounds. Yeah, there's not.
it's a good one.
Yeah, that's what's proven so difficult. Is actually, I think if Valorant had had access to rams, it may have been different. I think he got so unlucky that Borg drew Britons and he got Morians. It really couldn't have fallen any worse.
Yeah,
It's made a big difference to that, because I think Borg could have pushed on, or could have been pushed out.
DSD?
There's some excellent mining going on in the centre, and Frey is sending people resources left, right and centre.
that's true.
And Camillus has given up
DSD?
on his assault. So, but then where okay, he has gone for rams. That's quite sensible. But with so many range units being used, it seems I would have preferred to see some catapults come out. I think if you've got someone whose army is basically 70% archers, catapults will make light work of them. Same with the slingers.
By the way, another player has some rams garrison in the fortress, so we'll see if everyone cares, and maybe it will need a coordination, because the gathering point for Valorant will not work for unknown player rams, and maybe it will autofocus something else.
Okay, sorry, explain that again.
The unknown player has some rams garrison into Valorant.
Okay.
But if Valorant unknows them, maybe it won't actually attack the rams.
Ah, okay. I see. Oh yeah, there are 4 rams in there. You're right. So he needs to contact him to help. Okay,
So they're attacking the rams, so
okay,
that's very good.
I'm okay. Okay, and that's it. Well, now
DSD?
that's where I may have criticised Romans at the start, but they're at this stage of the game, the fact that they've got access to easy swordsmen that are cheap, and they've also got the best combination of siege weapons at the moment, they could be the difference. They could make a huge impact. Okay. Phoenix Death still seems to be on exactly 66 soldiers. I think he's been on that for no more, no less for as long as I can remember. I don't know how he's managed to maintain exactly that population.
Maybe he receives some resources.
Yeah. someone has to win this soon. Like, it's been over an hour and a half. Oh, Ivalo as a novice asked that Borg shouldn't be allowed to be involved in the stream due to causing lag. Well,
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to leave now because I don't have any more time. So
no, that's
I'm
fair
saying,
enough.
yeah, I'm saying goodbye to the stream. So
Okay, well, thank you very much, Vincent.
thank you. You too.
Enjoy your evening. I'll hopefully someone will win soon, and I can stop as well.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Adios. Right. Okay, so I am on my own now. Okay. Francisco Leite says Adeus to FeldFeld, and your quote-unquote sexy French voice. Right. So I'm just speaking to you guys that are watching now. So you won't get the excellent banterous commentary between the two of us. I'll just have to describe the action. But let's see what's happening here. So they're pushing on to... Well, there are two main attacks going on. The fact that Prey has this central area is very, very helpful. And we've got a couple of pushes happening that are desperately trying to make a difference. We could see, actually, looking at things, Camelius could be in big trouble. In fact, he is. He's losing a lot of his archers, while Unknown Player is pushing onto Bodica. Again, I'd really like to see him produce some catapults. I just really like catapults. I think they work really, really well in this game. Venus Desk has actually managed to move his population up to 85, which is pretty impressive. He's gone from 66. Okay. Yes. Looking at the chat again, yes. He is FeldFeld. So we got a fortress that's about to go down, but unless Bodica can be properly actually taken out of the game, which he's been brutalised repeatedly, but not quite to the extent that it can actually take him out. Camelius is sending some soldiers in to attempt to take out the farming economy of the green player, Chester, or I'm going to go with Krustigator. We've got Borg sending rams into unknown players' territory, and this... Well, how is this going to work? It's brutal. The whole thing is brutal, but this is absolutely an insane game. I've never seen anything that's lasted this long. So fair play to all of you that have been watching for the last almost hour and 3/4. Right, yeah, there needs to be in future some way of making there be an end point, like it counts down after 1 hour, the scores of the teams are added or something like that. But oh my god, hold up, it looks like unknown player may well be about to take out Bodica's civic centre. His cleverly placed houses are causing problems because they're getting in the way of the rams. I don't think there are rams, there's not sufficient rams there to actually... There are there. most of the rams got caught taking out houses again, which this ram is doing nothing. They've lost a ram. There's more rams taking out houses, which is so frustrating. Or just driving. I know where the Pathfinder just completely fails. Yeah, and you have to keep reminding them to attack the civic centre. Is it going to happen in time? I'm not sure it is. It looks like there's sufficient soldiers to stop. Oh, maybe it looks back somehow. Is it going to go? It's gone. It's gone. Okay, so Bodica's back in trouble again. But Borg has expanded to a huge extent, and Borg will continue to press on. These rams, can they? No, they can't. And this is the issue with these games, is that the territory isn't lost. If this was a two-player game, it wouldn't be long before those barracks were going to turn to Gaia, but they're not. And so after all of that from unknown player, all that happens is he rebuilds the civic centre. Ah, my word. FeldFeld is on the chat, and he's right. The game is way too balanced. The fact that it's somehow not ended yet is absolutely insane. Unknown players now fallen behind Phoenix Desk in population. Valeran is attempting to push out. He's done well to get a large amount of cavalry. Like, actually, it's not as many as I thought. It looked to be a lot more. It's actually 24. This civic centre is virtually going back up now. Where they're pushing on, it will be incredibly difficult. Let's do this. What's the... So we've now got taunting between Frapray and Krustgatter. Got a sneak attack going on involving a load of Briton skirmishers of Phoenix Desk is actually launching a counter attack here. What else is going on? It's just all going on. But there's never quite enough to knock out even one of the players. Phoenix Desk should have been knocked out about 100 times by now, but hasn't been somehow. Okay, Borg continues to push up. Will Phoenix Desk finally find himself taken out of the game? Or will his merry band of raiders here actually end up causing Borg some problems? Unknown player struggling for population. But he's got... What's he got there? He's got a load of sword cavalry. That's something that I personally like, is having sword cavalry in your fortress. That way, if you've got some rams that manage to get through and their supporting soldiers are knocked out, then you've got someone that can just pop out and destroy the rams relatively quickly. It's quite the fight going on there. They're being squeezed. Like, Team 2 is being squeezed horribly, and I think if just one of the players were to be knocked out, this isn't good. These guys are just going to be shot from within the civic centre and killed while they're just trying to take out. That's the end for that skirmisher run. And I think surely this is always going to desperately try and build a fortress. No, it's not his barracks. He's lost so many barracks. Okay, and we've got red for prey. He's done very, very well, absolutely right. He's actually on 958 kills now. Camille's on 829. Borg 771. But I think it won't be long before for prey pushes through the 1,000 kills barrier. Are we going to see? There's another fortress has gone up as well as the thing. now the only siege weapon he can actually has the resources to build is a siege catapult. Come on, Boudica, build a catapult and get your catapult to start knocking down or knocking through some of these archers. Okay, there's a big push on Valorant again. This Kurostiguto is desperately trying to help out Phoenix Desk, but I don't think it's going to be possible, particularly for his single sword cavalry to defend against that. I think we might finally see the end of Phoenix Desk. His population is down to 51. What does he have in his 5 slings? There's no one trying to rebuild that. Finally, Phoenix Desk must be gone. He's down to 43. This and that's it. I think it looks Valorant has resigned. Yeah. Finally. Well, all I can really say to everyone is, yeah, thank you all for watching. That was a really, really interesting game. Although I have to say, unbelievable how long it went on and how even it was. So well done for the with the balancing and with the teams. I thought they were excellent. So thank you to FeldFeld for that. Thanks to Unknown Player and HMS Surprise for setting all this up. And yeah, hopefully I'll be with you again in a few weeks to do some more commentary, hopefully with slightly less lag. Thanks very much, and adeus to all the Portuguese speakers.